And then if you go to deokheungri, this is about 80 years later, right, around the 5th century. And this is called the deokheungritomb in Pyongyang. And then we, from the inscriptions on the wall, we know that the owner's name was Jin, and he was the governor of Yuju region. That's the old name for this Pyongan-namdo. So the tomb structure is the same as you've seen in Anak tomb number 3. So it looks like a man-made mound, but the actual tomb is a stone chamber underground. And in this case, instead of having like 4 rooms that we've seen in Anak tomb, it looked a bit like this in Anak tomb, but deokheungri looks like this. It's an entrance, and then you have a double chamber. It's sometimes called the twin chambers, almost identical. You have a front room, and then you pass the passageway, then you have a main room. So instead of dividing their attention to 3 like different rooms, they wanted to be consolidated. So where do you think the portraiture of the owner is depicted? Anybody?
Maybe in the main room.
Yeah, the main room, right inside here, maybe here on this one, right? So all the way inside. So as if you are paying tribute, you go to the entrance and then see that massive procession paintings, and then you move in and then you go to the main room. But I want you to pay attention to the ceiling structure. In Anak tomb, their ceiling structure was not significant. It was like just a flat ceiling, and there was no significant paintings on the ceiling. That's imitation of architecture, but not so much. But if you come to deokheungritomb, like a deokheungritomb, you are going to have a celestial depiction in the front chamber, and then you are going to have a more celestial depiction in the main room as well. So if you come in, you have the portraiture of the main tomb owner, like the man named Jin, and his portraiture looks about the same. He's sitting in the front, and then his attendees are much smaller, and then he is seated under the canopied room, and then there are attendees with fans and musicians, so he can be entertained. So he's seated in the middle, and he also have a nice headgear to represent his high social status. And then in the front room, you have this like the procession painting. So the idea is similar. You have the man seated in the middle. He's preceded by other horses, and then he's followed by other attendees. And then on either side, you are going to see the massive knights, cavaliers marching together with him. And this is one of the ceilings that shows celestial figures. And which symbol can you recognize? I mean, you watched like a video documentary. Can anybody have a comment on this celestial painting? What do you recognize?
The 4 guardians.
Huh? What do you see?
Maiden.
Maiden? Yes, you see the maiden, and then what else?
Flying animal.
Oh, flying animals, yes. So this is a symbol of which celestial being?
The dragon.
It looks like a dragon, and this is usually called as the Asian version of a phoenix. So this is the sun, representation of the sun. But overall, these are stars and moons, and and then the sun. These smaller rounds are also the what is it? The 7 lucky stars. What is it? The celestial mythology. So round ones are usually denotation of stars. Do you recognize the legend of this episode? Maybe it was not mentioned in the documentaries. So this is a group that I am going to talk. Do you recognize that this is a man and woman based on the clothes, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, can anyone describe? Can anyone want to describe? So this
The
is
woman here is tied up and wearing kind of like more like with laces.
Mhm.
Like
And what about
like
this?
and oh yeah, the man is holding a knife um on this
Bag.
wrist wrist and he's wearing a hat, I guess,
Mhm. Then what
and
kind of animal
holding
is this?
cow.
Cow. Yes. Yeah, cow is important. So the man's name is, you know, it's like a cowboy in English. So he takes care of the cows. So that's his job. And then this woman is a weaver. Her name is, she's a daughter of celestial god, and she owns that valuable skill of weaving. So the story is sort of a love affair. They fell in love with each other, but as you can see, the weaving maiden is from the heaven, and then the cowboy, his name is Kyunghee. Cowboy lives on the earth. So what happened was, because they were fell in love and they were spending a lot of time together, the cowboy abandoned his cows. He didn't do his responsibility, and then also the weaving maiden didn't do her job either. Like, she didn't weave. She has to weave in order to benefit human figures, but she didn't. So the celestial god got angry at both of them. So he imposed a punishment on them. What would be a cruel punishment for lovers? Can anybody read romance novels? What would be the biggest prices for a loving couple?
Separation.
Separation.
Separation. Yes, I'm glad that nobody said that. This is not Romeo and Juliet, but this is considered like a Korean folk tale of Romeo and Juliet. So because of the celestial gods' punishment, they can only be united one day a year. So it's a separation. It's very harsh punishment. One day a year. Does anybody have an idea what day it could be?
July 7th.
Yes, who said it?
Jane.
Yeah, why? What is the significance of July 7th?
Uh, I believe it was like Shirso, I heard.
Yes. I will explain a little bit more. But if you are of Asian heritage, you probably know this dates like July 7. But this is a lunar calendar, July 7. It comes in a little bit later. Let's say, depending on the year, lunar calendar changes year by year. So it could be late July, or it could be close to actually solar July 7th. It's not all the way same, but that day supposedly you will have rain, like a sudden, how to put it, shower. And the reason you get a sudden shower is because they got reunited and they were crying, and then dropping tears out of their happiness or something. Did anybody want to say something? Who raised the hand? Oh. Anyhow, so that's the story. I have more details. And then if you come here, a little bit down, there is the famous symbol of hunters. I want you to note that deokheungritomb had this motif of hunters trying to catch the tiger.